Hi, welcome to Joanna's DIY Life. I'm glad you're here. This is another Sew It Saturday, and this Saturday I am going to try to show you how I am going to make a skirt pattern and a skirt with a simple sewing machine from a skirt that I already have. So I'm going to be drafting a pattern from a skirt that I already own that I like. It's just a little short and I need more of them. This is a good tutorial for my church ladies, and so you will especially want to pay attention. And anyways, I'm just going to move the camera down and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this, and hopefully, Lord willing, this all comes out the way the first one did. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is paper. This is medical paper. I have it listed in my Amazon store. It has a shiny side and it has a more papery side. I like to use the more papery side, especially when I'm using a pencil. You can use craft paper to do this, just brown craft paper, or, you can even use wrapping paper if you have it. Just flip it over to the white side and you're good to go. You need a skirt that fits you the way you want it to fit. I'm just going to take my skirt and I'm going to try my best to fold it directly in half, okay? I can use a half pattern, which would be easier. For me, anyway. My table's not that wide. It's a door. So I'm just going to line this up. This looks complicated already, just trying to line up the stupid skirt. But, you have to use knit material for this. And it is wonky. T-shirt material, knits. That's what this skirt is. This is a silky, stretchy, just whatever is stretchy. I'm just using knits because that's what I have. So I am going to, like I said, try to get this as even as you can. And this looks pretty good. It takes a minute to get everything worked out here. That looks pretty good. So now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to use my edge I have here. Okay? So you're just going to line your edge up on the edge of your paper. Make sure everything lines up well. Now, if you want to do this with your skirt spread out, that's you can. This is just the way I choose to do it, and I want mine longer. I need it 27, a little over 27. So I'm going to bump it up right there. Now I am going to trace around, and when I trace around this, the top I don't want any, extra. And my skirt has a curve to it. Your skirt may or may not. I don't know. Just trace it out. Now on the edge, since knits are usually serged, I'm just going to take my pattern and I am going to just go out just a little because this skirt fits me. So when you're serging, you pretty much go on the edge of the fabric. So I'm not really going out too much, y'all. I'm just barely going out and tracing this pattern, okay? This is all I'm doing. Now when you get to the bottom, when you're extending one, you can take a ruler and put your ruler on the edge where you want your line and just continue all the way down, because you have to come at that angle at the bottom, or especially with a skirt, or you won't be able to walk. Okay, so I'm just going to come out here just a hair and go all the way down and continue this line. There is my skirt pattern. From this point I can, you know, kind of even that up, darken my lines if I want to, and there you go. I love these big pencils. I find them at the Dollar Tree sometimes, and I love them for making my patterns. Okay, now I'm gonna label mine my knit skirt. Okay, so now when you cut a piece for the top, the band, I like to do mine at least a half an inch, if not almost an inch smaller than your skirt, okay? And that will give it just a little snugness right there when you put it on around you. So I want to move it down to here, because I can see on my mat that I'm stopping almost here. So I'm going to come down to about right there. Look at me, I done moved. So I'm going to draw my line. I'm going to draw my line across. And I'm going to come over here. And you want at least a 1, 2, 3, 4. I do a 4 or 5 inch band. That's just more comfortable for me. I'm going to do a 5 inch on this one. So I'm just going to take my ruler, draw my line. I sound like I'm from Louisiana or something. I'm going to draw my line. And I missed my line. Me and this ruler do not get along. I've had it for a long time, but I never use it. Probably because of this reason. You have to go down. But anyway, this is my knit skirt band. And I'm going to put mine on it, because if I make these for anyone else, I want to make sure that I know this is mine. Okay, so I'm just going to take my scissors that are not for fabric, and I'm going to cut out my pattern, okay? So you do not have to watch me cut out my pattern. I'm sure you know how to use scissors. So I'll be right back. Now that I have my pattern cut out, I'm going to make sure this is right before I, get my paper put up. And there is just a little off. This is my knit fabric, and you have to have special stitches when you use knit fabrics, because they will break. So I am going to take out my fabric, and first of all, I'm going to see which way this stretches. I forgot what I just done. Oh, it goes sideways this way. So I'm going to undo all this. And I'm going to refold this the way that it needs to go. Okay, so I want to make sure that I explain this. So my fabric is in half now. Okay, so I am going to cut both pieces at one time. Okay, and the way I do that is my fabric is folded. And so I am going to take, this is the open edge. Okay, that's the folded edge. So I'm going to run the open edge when I get it straight. I don't have room on my table. I really need to unload my table. Y'all, seriously. That's another day, maybe. But anyway. Get your fabric up here straight. Bring this piece over to this piece. So you have this edge, okay? And these should be together if you fold it on your table and not in the air. They should all be together. Smooth out any wrinkles with your hand. that you may have, okay? Now, all you got to do is lay your pattern on your fabric with your edge on your edge here and cut that booger out. Once you get all the wrinkles out, seriously, you don't want no wrinkles in here, y'all, because it will mess you up. And you can iron this, but it really is just, you know, knit is like a toddler, has a mind of its own, and it does what it wants. So anyway, just make sure you have both, you know, you have room over there. So now I'm just going to lay my skirt pattern down. And I don't use pattern weights. I pin my patterns because I am nervous over shifting. So I am just going to pin this down and cut it out. I always pin my edge first. Make sure, I don't really worry about the edge too much, but then I'll go in here and get this side so nothing moves. And I'll just tell you, since I'm using them, I'm going all to the flat pins because they're flat against there, so they do not make your material or your fabric come up, you know, when you're cutting, and that's very important so you get the right cut. You always want to put a pin in the curves to hold that curve down, because you want to cut your curve just right. And now you're just going to get your favorite sewing scissors, and whichever way you're comfortable cutting, don't pull your knit material now, just cut, okay? Cut around your pattern. And then when you get that cut, and also when you're cutting this, make sure when you use knits that you have it all on a surface, because if it's pulling off the side of your table or whatnot, then it's going to pull and your skirt won't come out right, or whatever you're sewing. If you have to, lay it in the floor. Use your kitchen table, you know, whatever you have is fine. Just don't let it pull, because your garment will be wonky, okay? So we don't want to do that. All right, now we can not get rid of that. Don't get rid of that, y'all. Do not get rid of that. We have to cut out a waistband. But I'm just going to take my pins out and remove my pattern. And then I am going to flip this over. And I am going to add my pins. First of all, normally when I cut, I have them inside out. So you are right sides together. Make sure that you have right sides together before you pin them. It looks like this is the right side. So now I have to match all this wonky junk up. If you cut them with right sides together, you will not have to do this, okay? But you just lay your pieces down. Make sure you got the top with the top and the bottom with the bottom. And then pin, or use your Wonder Clips or whatever clips to put these together, okay? So I am going to figure out whether I'm going to pin or clip this. The way it's rolling, I'm going to clip it. And all you got to do is put it together, clip it. Go down a little more. Make sure it's not rolled when you clip it. Knits roll. And then just clip it all the way down on both sides, okay? Or pin, whichever you prefer. You know, it's up to you. So I have my clips on both sides, and I am going to take it to the machine. Now, if you can hold this without any clips or pins, more power to you, honey. I can't, okay? So this is ready to go to the machine. So now I am going to cut the waistband, okay? And you don't want to use this extra fabric because it don't have much stretch. You want to make sure you have that stretch, okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my little waistband. So you're just going to take your top here and pin it down. Oh, I don't know what I was reaching for those for. Pin it down and cut it out as well. So you have your band. You want to open your band, and I wanted one continuous cut, but I didn't get that because of the way that I folded it. But anyways, nonetheless, it'll be okay. So you're going to have to sew both ends. Oh, let me turn them the way they're supposed to be. Now you're going to sew both ends. You just want to make sure we're doing both ends. So clip those or pin those together. Whatever you choose to do. So at this point, I hope you can see because I have to hold the camera here, okay, and I'm trying not to move. But your machine should have a straight stitch like this right here, and it's a triple stretch stitch, okay? I've talked about this before, I think, in my videos. You can use the triple, you can use the zigzag, or if you have a special foot that I'm fixing to show you, you could use this right here, which is a serging foot. And the foot that you need, I'm almost positive, is a G. But I'll show you in just a second, and it's called an overcasting foot. I have one in my store on Amazon, okay? But just, you can do this with a regular foot just by using this right here, okay? Because knits, they don't have to be serged necessarily because they'll just roll. You know, they're not going to fray or anything like that. Most knit fabric, like t-shirt knits or whatever. So you don't have to worry about that. Normally, I would serge these on a serger. Knits are always best sewn on a serger. But I am going to move you over and I'm going to show you what the overcasting foot is, which is this right here. It's this stitch, right? It is a G. I was right. This is what it looks like, and it has this little bar in it. So you can adjust your stitches to go over this bar, okay? And that will be like a serge stitch. I will show you what I'm talking about, and that is what I'm going to use because I am serging. So this is going to go under this like this right here, okay? And there is an edge right here. What you're going to do is you're going to put your foot down. You're going to keep your fabric running along this edge right here, okay? And it will do its magic and look like a serger. See how it's going? I'm going slow for you. Make sure you might have to keep your finger there a little close to make sure your fabric don't roll, but all you have to do is just go down through there. And I need to back my stitches down a little bit. They're too wide. That's what it looks like. So you're essentially serging your fabric shut, just like a serger. Do not pull this while you're sewing. Let it glide through your machine. And when you get to the end and you have to take your stuff off, make sure it's together. Push your finger down on it, okay, and let it glide through here. When you're done, you'll have a stitch like this. It's not puckered, it's not gathered. And trust me when I say that it is just like a serger. It's sewn, it's not going anywhere, okay? You could see right through that. I'm gonna have to wear a black skirt under there. Black slip or whatever. So I'm gonna do the other side, and then I'm gonna serge the two sides of my band, okay? And then we'll be right back with you. Make sure you take your clips or your pins out, because they will not go under this machine. Not even pins. Don't run pins through your machine, okay? I also want to tell you that on my machine and some machines, when you get to the end, you can just push this reverse button or the reverse button on your machine, and what this is going to do is it's going to knot that under there, so you can just pull it out. Instead of backstitch, it knots it under there to tie it off for you. Sorry if you're moving, but this is how it ties it off. So now at this point, you have your skirt side sewn, and you are going to take and turn your skirt right side out, okay? And then set that down. Make sure you have the top, not the bottom. This one actually looks bigger than the other one I made, but we'll see. You can always take them up if they're too big. So what we're going to do is, excuse me, you're going to take your band. This is the right side, wrong side. Fold it in half. Make sure you line up your edges. So you're going to put these together. Now you're going to take the edge of your, if you have two seams, if you had one, you just line it up in the back. And you're going to pin this or clip this. I am going to clip mine to my skirt. Match up your two side seams first. Okay, where are my clips? I left them behind. So match up your side seams, then go around here. Make sure you have this. Okay, let me show you. Your skirt's this way. This is down this way. Inside, it doesn't. We're going to flip this and you'll have a band. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So go around to your other side. You'll have to put your skirt in it to go around. And then match up those two side seams. Fold this in half. Make sure, because you don't want to, you don't want it twisted. Make sure you have the two side seams and everything is up in the right order. Now place this one on your other side seam and pin it or clip it. Make sure all your fabric is even right here, okay? You don't want to sew this all out of whack, So now you're going to have this, and you see how this is saggier than this? That's what you want, because this is going to be your band. So you'll then start pinning. Stretch your band out just a little while you're placing it on your skirt, okay? It'll draw back up, and what it's going to do is it's going to take your skirt and it's going to make it fit you, okay? It's going to make it fit you. That's all I got to say. Make sure there's no rolls if you can. It is hard at this point with all this rolling knit fabrics. Sometimes, and I'm not going to lie, I'll take a glue stick and glue this together so I don't have to keep fooling with it. But anyway, just slightly pull and pin, and it's going to roll on you. That's the reason I like to use the serger, because it'll cut the rolls off. And Now I'm just going to take it to the machine, and I'm going to start on one of these edges, and I'm just going to use my serge stitch or your triple stitch, whatever it is. Make sure all these are flat out as best you can on your machine. You can pull a little if you need to, but just go all the way around this band, okay? I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, now you should have your band on, and it would look like this. And I will tell you that when you go over top of the other one, you hold on, you may have to take and pick your foot up, pull it back because it's a cast off foot, so you'd want to pull it back if you use that foot, and then start again. It won't hurt it any. This is all sewn on. It looks decent. It looks nice. You'll have this. If you have any rolling also, make sure you get all the rolling under the foot. It's okay. Just make sure you take your thumb and push it under the foot as it's going through there, and then your band will be on like so. So now we have our skirt that looks like this, and we are going to go and put the hem in. Okay, so I'm going to take you over there and show you how to put the hem in. All right. Okay, so there are a few ways to hem this. You can iron this, fold it under, and then fold it under again if you want to. And then it'll have a hem like this, which is what we're going to do, but I'm going to use a foot to do it, okay? You can, if you have a serger, make a serge all the way around and then fold that serge down and stitch over top of that serge. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take this foot off, and I have this foot. This is a 4/8. Oh, sorry. This is a 4/8 hemmer, okay? And this is adjustable. I have it set to where I need it. So I'm going to just pop this on like this right here. And this is the tricky part. I'm going to get aggressive. Don't judge me. What I want to do is I got to get my fabric through here, okay? First of all, I'm going to change it to a triple stitch. That triple stitch is going to go right there. Well, I have to move my machine. You want it on the edge of your roll, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute when I get this on, okay? So what you want to do is you want to take at your seam, and you want to go under, and you want to go under again, the size of this, okay? Get it as close to the size of that as you possibly can. And these knits are a pain in the booty. So anyways, I'm doubling it over. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold it over one time, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to get aggressive, and you're going to flip this in this right here, okay? So you maneuver it until you get it flipped up in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to sew a rolled hem. Now put this down, your foot, okay? Make sure you really want your garment all on your table if at all possible, because that way it's not pulling, you know, and you have to adjust your garment as you go, just like I did when I was sewing the top on. Now, you want your needle to line up where it's going to hit right on the edge of this fabric, okay? I think I pretty much got it right there, but I'm going to go in just a little to make sure that I got it. Now this stuff rolls, and it really doesn't matter. Now you don't want it rolling a lot because your hem will be, you know, wonky, but watch. This is so awesome, okay? I lengthened it so that it will stitch longer. Actually, I'm at 3.5 stitch length, okay? And this is the triple stitch. No pulling. You're just making sure that you get this through here. This is going to do all this for you. Okay? You don't have to do anything. Okay, your knot won't go through there. So you're going to have to leave your needle down, take this out. Okay, so you want to do this before you get to this point, okay? I forgot. All right, now, just run this under this, okay? You're going to go under it. It'll lift up. Now put it down and sew a little piece, and then you're going to have to put it back on there, okay? Not a big deal. So I'm just going to sew a piece like it is until I get over my hump here. You might have to tug it just a little. Leave the needle down, pull it back around, and put your fabric in here to sew. And sometimes it's hard to get in. You may have to maneuver it around, get aggressive if you got to. You know what I'm saying? Or if you want to, you don't have to use it. You could just fold under, fold under. This just helps me to have a straight line so that I'm not, you know, going, you know, blah, 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 everywhere. Sorry for my sound effects there. And I cannot get this in. I have to have tweezers all the stinking time to help me when I'm sewing. But you see how that works right there? These bent tweezers? Girl. Or whoever. It's just, I'm used to talking to my daughter, so I say girl. Okay, so now we're in. I'm just going to take off and finish the rest of this, okay? Oh. Once you have your hem in, your skirt is finished. Clip any strings that you may have hanging around, and you're done. And I'm not clipping them with them scissors. I'm afraid I'm going to cut my skirt. There's your hem. And your skirt is finished. And there's what it would look like. Well, now I have a new skirt pattern. I love it. It's easy, no elastic, easy sewing. You can do it with a machine or a serger. I do prefer the serger, but that's me. But if you don't have one, you can do it with a machine. I just showed you, and it's easy. So if you have any problems with the hems or the rolled hemmer, or you don't want to do that, you can just fold it under and then fold it under again and run it through. It's no problem. Easy, easy skirt. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel and becoming part of my YouTube family, and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video so you don't miss any content. And I want you to know that I appreciate all my faithful subscribers. You are a blessing. I'll catch you next time. Bye.